The fears that go into a place inside our bodies where we haven't fully inhabited. The technical word for it would be embodiment, a place where we have not embodied or ensouled or brought our light or our connection, our beingness, our presence. Which is why when a fear grips us, we become completely caught up with time, past and future. We become anxious. This foreboding presence, this shadow lurking over us. But something miraculous happens with fears. And that's that if you can pause for a moment and go into yourself, you can feel precisely where you're not embodied. You can feel by where it grips you, where you're holding tight. You can feel where you're not breathing. Taking in life force, taking in breath. You can feel the constriction, right? So the fear shows us an a priori or before the fact condition that fits like a key into a lock. And if you can embody in that place and bring presence in that place and breathe into that place and ground into that place, then you can overcome the fear. One of my boys, well, he has a few fears, one of which had been cicadas, a type of noisy insect you see during the summertime. Now, if you know cicadas, you know that they're largely harmless. A cicada is not interested in humans. You don't hear about cicada bites or hospitalizations due to cicadas, but you would not know that to experience the fear that had been connected with my son. And so he's worked through this fear, and he's faced an immense amount of bravery to get to this place. In fact, last year, he bought a cicada off of eBay. You can buy anything off of eBay. Preserved. He wanted to be face to face with his fear. He named the cicada. He looked at the cicada. He got used to its presence, and he formed presence within the cicada. And now when he goes outside, he's not afraid of them anymore. He had to look his fear. He had to embody within that place. And now he's afraid of wasps. But it's the same thing over and over again. So when the fear comes up, I say to him, the wasp is more afraid of you than you are of it. It's tiny in comparison, but every time you fear the wasp or the cicada, you get very small, scrunched up inside of yourself. You cease to breathe. Your chest gets tight. Your whole body shifts. Body language is off. This whole transformation happens, right? We shut down. We become very constricted. That's what happens to him every single time. So if I'm with him, I get him to embody and to connect. But something funny happened to me tonight. And what happened was I sat down to record, and I felt my fear coming up. Not a fear of recording. I love to record. But I felt this presence, this fear come over me. And I sat down and I set everything up in here. And all of a sudden I felt this tickle on my hand. And I looked down and I saw what was essentially a tiny insect, but something I hadn't recognized, something I hadn't seen, apart from the other night, in this same room. And so I looked it up, and it was a wheel bug, or an assassin bug, a nymph, a small one, though the bites can sting. And I was amazed at how tight my body became, how much fear coursed through me all of a sudden. And I ended up walking up to it, scooping it up and taking it outside. I hadn't intended to talk about this tonight, about fear, but that's exactly how fear works. And then we have to go back to where we were before and embody there, breathe there, and be there. Otherwise, the cycle continues. So in this instance tonight, if I had let the fear of the assassin bug, which sounds scary based upon the title, if I let that consume me, I wouldn't be communicating to you right now. And if my son allows the wasps or the cicadas to consume him, he's going to miss out on his childhood. He will not want to be outside and play. Again, the miraculous thing is when you face it, it becomes the open door to what it is that you're wanting to explore within the world. There's a quote that I love from Marcus Aurelius, and he said, "The impediment to action creates action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The impediment to action creates action. What stands in the way becomes the way." And what I love about it is, it has caused me to sprint towards my fears, whatever they may be. And the game plan is always the same. The game plan is to embody and to connect in places where we have not embodied and have not ensouled and have not connected before. Not fully. It is open vacancy. So an analogy I saw years ago, I had this vision of a home with holes in the walls where mice can come in, or bees can set up a nest or a hive. Wherever you aren't embodied, the universe will move into that space, right? It's kind of like the idea of nature abhorring a vacuum, though that's not quite what happens. It's a vacancy. It's a place where we aren't. And so something has to go into that place and agitate. If it's not an insect, it'll be a person. It'll be a politician. It'll be a sports team. It'll be something dramatic within your life. It'll be a partner or a friend who is not meeting you. It'll be somebody that you deem your enemy, but they'll actually be your teacher. And that's the nature of it. What goes into these places of fear that we have inside of us, what goes into it is something that is beseeching us, begging us to embody in this place, to become whole where we've been partial, to become aware where we've been absent, to bring an immense presence, an immense power. If you're walking in your soul self, in your conscious state, in your state of beingness or becoming or presence, whatever your word is, if you're walking in that state, then you are shrinking to nothing, right? There's nothing that you're kowtowing to, nothing that you're capitulating to. It's not arrogance. That's different. It's not arrogance. Arrogance is fear. It is projection. It is compensation. It's not that. It is presence and power. And in true presence and in true power, there's nothing inhabiting you. There's nothing overtaking you. There's nothing controlling you. Right? Because you're connected. You're connected to the universe. You're connected to God. You're connected to your soul. You're connected to your energy, your light. You're connected. And in that place, death is an illusion. Loss is an illusion. This world we inhabit is a playground, a way for us to grow and to learn lessons and to develop and to expand and to become. In those places, we don't have fear. In those places, we have presence. And presence is an immense light that shines upon any shadow, consumes what consumed us. Thanks the teacher for the lesson and continues to move on to your destination. So I want to thank you for connecting in to this recording with me. I want to thank you for taking the time and the presence to be with me. Fear is something that we face, and I believe everyone faces it, as long as we have these skin suits, as long as we are mortal in flesh. Then there's a part of us, we can call it the ego, but there's a part of us that's trying to survive. And I think that's meant to be there. I don't think the ego is the enemy. I think it's the instinct saying, I got to take care of myself. But fear is when it goes too far. You hear the acronym false evidence appearing as real. It's when it goes too far. And it consumes your life and prevents you from living. So my hope is that you've taken something from this. And that whatever you're facing, you reclaim your life and you live fully. So, thank you. Thank you.